Hey everyone, in this video we build an authentication system using Node.js and Supabase. We'll walk through the sign-up and login process step by step. First, I'll show you the sign-up page, where I'll create an account using a temporary email. After signing up, I'll immediately try to log in without confirming my email, and Supabase will give me a "your email is not confirmed" warning. Next, I'll go to my temporary email, find the confirmation email from Supabase, and verify my account. Once that's done, I'll try logging in again, but this time I'll enter the wrong password first to see the error message. Finally, I'll enter the correct password and successfully log in. Once I'm in, I'll show you the logout button, and after clicking it, I'll be logged out of the session. So let's jump into the demo and see it in action. You can support us and get early access to our daily videos by joining the channel. We'd love to have you as part of our community. We're setting up our Node.js backend with Supabase for authentication. First, we import essential modules like express.js to create a web server, .env to load environment variables, Supabase client to interact with our database, and some other utilities like body parsing and cookie handling. Then we load our .env file, which contains our Supabase URL and Supabase API key. These values are needed to connect our app to our Supabase project. Next, let's take a look at the .env file where these keys are stored. But where do we get them? After signing up on the Supabase website, you need to create a new project. I've included the link in the video description. Once your project is ready, head over to Project Settings, API. Here, you'll find both the Supabase URL and your public API key. Copy these values and add them to your .env file to establish a secure connection between your app and Supabase. Now, we're setting up some middleware for our Express.js app. First, we use body parser to handle form submissions, allowing us to access form data inside rec.body. Then we use cookie parser to manage cookies, which helps with authentication. We also serve static files from the public folder, meaning any CSS, images, or client-side JavaScript inside public will be accessible in the browser. Next, we define a route for the homepage. When users visit the root URL, we send them the index.html file from the public folder. This means our login and signup page will load as soon as someone visits the website. Now let's take a look at the index.html file. This file contains the basic structure of our authentication UI, including the login and signup form, along with the necessary input fields for email and password. There's also a toggle switch that allows users to switch between login and signup modes. This is the main page where users will interact with our authentication system. Now we're setting up the sign-up route. When a user submits the sign-up form, their email and password are sent to this route. We extract these values from ric.body and pass them to Supabase's authentication method to create a new account. If something goes wrong, like the email is already registered or the password doesn't meet the requirements, Supabase returns an error message, and we redirect the user to error.html, showing the specific error message. But if everything goes well, we redirect them to signupsuccess.html. Now, let's take a look at the error.html file. This page simply displays an error message to the user explaining what went wrong during signup. It helps users understand if they need to use a different email or fix their password. Now, let's take a look at the signupsuccess.html file. This page confirms that the signup was successful and usually tells the user to check their email for a confirmation link before they can log in. This is important because without confirming their email, they won't be able to access their account. Now we're handling the login process. When a user submits the login form, we extract their email and password from ric.body and pass them to Supabase's sign-in with password method. If the login fails, maybe the password is incorrect or the email isn't confirmed, Supabase returns an error and we redirect the user to error.html with a message explaining what went wrong. If the login is successful, Supabase sends back session data, which includes an access token. We store this token in a cookie using HTTP only true, which means it can't be accessed by JavaScript on the client side. This helps with security. Finally, we redirect the user to the private page, where they can access content that's only available to logged-in users. Now let's take a look at the private.html file. This page is only accessible after logging in. It usually contains some kind of welcome message, user-specific content, or a logout button, so the user can log out when they're done. This is the main page users see after a successful login. Now, we're setting up the private route to make sure only logged-in users can access the private HTML page. First, we check if the user has an access token stored in their cookies. If there's no token, that means the user isn't logged in, so we redirect them back to the home page. If a token exists, we use Supabase's getUser method to verify the user's identity. If there's an error, like an expired token, we redirect them back to the home page. But if everything is fine, we read the private.html file and replace user email with the logged in user's actual email before sending the modified page to the browser. This way, the user sees their email on the private page as confirmation that they're logged in. Next, we set up the logout route. When a user clicks logout, we simply clear the access token cookie and redirect them back to the home page. This ensures that they're fully logged out and will need to log in again to access the private content. Now, I open the terminal and start the server using Node.js. This runs our authentication system, and then we go to the browser to test everything step by step, just like we talked about at the beginning. First, we go to the Signup page and create a new account. Without confirming the email, we try to log in, but Supabase blocks us with an error saying the email is not confirmed. So we check the temporary email, confirm the account, and then try logging in again. Now we enter the wrong password on purpose, and Supabase gives us an error saying the credentials are incorrect. Finally, we type the correct password, successfully log in, and access the private page. Everything works as expected, and now our authentication system is fully functional. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment if you have any questions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.